everyone, this is Group 11 presenting the topic Achieving Effective Communication.
My name is Yegunde Samo. My name is Daniela Badnos. We're talking about what is communication. Communication is the lifeblood of human interaction and allows us to exchange ideas, information, and emotions. In the business world, effective communication is the essential for fostering understanding and nurturing relationships, verifying complex issues. Communication is derived from a Greek word called communicatio. Now we're going to be talking about business communication, which shares functional goals in general communication but distinguishes itself among specific nature, context, and application. It focuses on enhancing effective and efficiency in organization to apply it in everyday activity. This is the uniqueness of effective communication.
The primary objective of business communication foster understanding and cultivate positive relationships within the workplace. It requires a formal approach characterized by clarity, precision, and professionalism. Business communication can take many forms, including verbal, written to non-written channels, each tailored from specific content to audience, to emails and reports, and lastly to presentations and meetings. It is crucial in acquiring or achieving business organization tools and maintaining an harmonic relationship among stakeholders. The key element of effective business communication are seven. It is sender, stimulus, message, medium, receiver, decoding, and feedback. This element must work together to ensure the message is delivered, understood, and appropriately responded to.
My name is Ezechioma, and I'm here to talk about effective communication.
Báwo
I don't understand what you're saying. So this little clip you just watched was just telling us about the barriers you can face in communication. So now, what is effective communication? Effective communication is the process of exchanging ideas, thoughts, information, knowledge, and data so that the message you're communicating is clearly understood and received with clarity and purpose. In the process of effectively communicating, even the sender and the receiver feel satisfied. Effective communication is not all about just exchanging information. It involves you getting to understand the intention and the emotions behind effective communication.
Communication is a part of our everyday life, whether we communicate in person or through channels of communication like social media handles or telecommunication platforms. But how much of our communication actually reaches the intended audience or person the way we hope? That's where effective communication comes in. Effective communication requires us to be clear in what we're trying to express. Being an effective communicator in our professional and personal lives involves learning the skills to exchange information with clarity, empathy, and understanding.
In simple terms, effective communication ensures that both the sender and the receiver understand what you're trying to say. My name is Ezechioma.
My name is Bello Basit.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Akomolafe Daniel. Now, having understood the meaning of effective communication, we shall now consider the principles that we shall apply towards achieving effective communication. These principles are known as the 7 C's of communication. It was first introduced by two people, Scott Gottlieb and Alan Center, in 1952. These principles are to ensure that messages are well understood by the receiver. Now, let's look at the 7 C's one after the other. Number 1, clarity. A message must be clear to be effective. Clarity will ensure that the message is understood. The sender must make up his mind on his ideas or thoughts that he wants to express and be able to express it clearly. He must also know how to express it to bring understanding. Now, he must be single-minded and avoid jumping from one idea to the other. Number 2, correct, which is the 2nd C of communication. For the communication to be effective, it must be correct. Correctness means that it is error-free and devoid of falsehood. A receiver will be uninterested in a communication that is full of mistakes in terms of grammar, spelling, wrong information, figures, and so on. The message will not achieve its purpose if these errors are prevalent in it. Consequently, communication will be ineffective. Accuracy is very important in communication. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gafar Yusuf. Completeness. The message should be complete, therefore it must include all the relevant information as required by the intended audience. The complete information gives answers to all the questions of the receiver. For instance, project brief. When briefing a team about a project, include all the relevant details such as the goals, the deadline, the budget, and the resources needed. This ensures that everyone understands their role and the project requirements. Another instance is financial reports. Financial reporting include all the relevant financial information such as the income, expenses, assets, and liabilities. This allows the stakeholders to make informed decisions about investments, budgeting, and future strategies. In each of these instances, completeness in communications ensures that all the necessary information is provided, enabling a better decision making, keeping the audience attention, and ensuring the clarity of message. Clarity of message, which brings us to another principle of effective communication, which is conciseness. This message should be precise and to the point. The sender should avoid the lengthy sentences because the short and brief messages is more comprehensive and it helps in retaining the receiver's attention. For instance, presentation. In presentation, use visuals and concise bullet points to convey key information rather than lengthy paragraphs of text. This keeps the audience engaged and help them grasp the main points quickly. Clarity of message, which brings us to another principle of effective communication, which is conciseness. This message should be precise and to the point. The sender should avoid the lengthy sentences because the short and brief messages is more comprehensive and it helps in retaining the receiver's attention. For instance, presentation. In presentation, use visuals and concise bullet points to convey key information rather than lengthy paragraphs of text. This keeps the audience engaged and help them grasp the main points quickly. Another instance, email subject line. When sending emails, concise subject lines helps recipients quickly understand the purpose of the email and decide whether to open it. For example, instead of meeting agenda for our upcoming project review meeting on Friday, June 14th at 10 a.m., use project review meeting agenda 6/14th 10 a.m. In each of these instances, conciseness in communication helps to convey information quickly and effectively.
Hello everyone, I'm Irewoluwa Olawole and I'll be taking the last three C's or the last three principles of effective communication, which are courtesy, credibility, and consistency. What is courtesy? Courtesy simply means to show good manners, be polite, and kind. Effective communication has to take into consideration both perspective as well as the feelings of the receiver. Harsh or aggressive tone should not be used when communicating effectively because it can affect the receiver's interpretation of the message. Credibility. The concept of credibility means the information being passed must be correct, honest, and from a reliable source. If the message being sent is credible, the receiver has little to no complication of understanding the subject matter of the message. Communication that lacks credibility cannot produce the desired result. In other words, it will be ineffective. Consistency. Consistency refers to the idea that the approach to communication should be stable and unbiased. This also means that all parts of the message must fit together. It must flow smoothly from the beginning to the end.
So my name is Joshua Aderemi.
And I'm Adigo Amira.
And I'm Temidara Balogun.
So good. Overcoming these barriers is very crucial for sustaining business successes like among business partners. You get, so we'll be taking turns to cover like various types of examples and strategies to address all of them. So the first one, language barriers. Yeah. So language barriers occurs when people do not share a common language, which could hinder a smooth communication between both parties. And this often happens when people speak different language due to different ethnic background. Yeah, so these barriers can lead to misunderstanding in effective communication.
Physiological barriers arises when individuals have physical traits that complicate communication. Examples include difficulties in articulation, stuttering, or having throat diseases. Such barriers makes it challenging to convey or receive messages clearly.
So we have technological barriers. Now these are the barriers or the challenges that people face due to the technological advancement in communication. There we have, for example, poor internet connection during a video conference can lead to poor communication or misinterpretation of information.
Oh, good. So another one is gender barriers. And gender barriers are obstacles that arise from differences in communication styles between men and women. So men and women tend to communicate differently. And this could affect the understanding of both parties and this would also result in misunderstanding and misinterpretation of whatever is passed between both parties. Yeah.
We also have cultural barriers. Cultural barriers occurs when people with different cultural background cannot communicate due to different perception, ideologies, and values. This variation can lead to miscommunication and cultural misunderstanding.
And now we have medium barriers. Now this refers to the inappropriate usage of channels or platforms for communication. Now for a medium to be used, it has to satisfy the information being passed and also the receiver of the information. For example, trying to pass a formal message through a casual texting or messaging app can be deemed inappropriate in terms of business. So it can also lead to misinterpretation of information.
Oh, good. That's amazing. And timing barriers. So timing barriers occurs when you send a message in a non-working hours, or you send a message, a business message or a very important message through a casual app. Do you get there's a chance that this message is going to be overlooked or poorly received. So it's very important that you consider the timing to ensure effective communication.
There are several specific examples of communication barriers. We have filtering, selective perception, information overload, emotions, and silence. We have filtering. Filtering occurs when sender manipulates information so that the receiver can believe something else. And we have selective perception. Occurs when the receiver picks certain piece of information and ignores others. Information overload occurs when receiver receives too much information at once. They might filter out significant parts and forget essential elements.
So next to that, we have emotions. People's perceptions can be influenced by their emotions such as anger, stress, or sadness. We also have silence. Now, while silence can be seen as lack of communication, silence can also be a barrier when people purposely avoid or ignore a specific topic.
Okay, good. So to overcome these barriers, and we have to consider strategies here. So we have a noise, we have language, and medium, timing, and many other factors. But I want to talk about noise. So for noise, and you would want to minimize external disruptions that interfere the message. Yeah. For language, and using a clear and common language to ensure understanding between both parties is very important.
And then we have medium. Select appropriate communication channels that effectively reach the intended audience. Timing. Communicate at times when the recipient is available and attentive.
Now we have other factors that also influence this. Now we have to pay attention to vocabulary, to semantics, physical distance, status differences, attitudes, emotions, and differing perceptions of reality.
Oh, good. So in conclusion to what we've said, effective communication is very essential for business success and maintaining strong clients and relationship. Yeah.
By understanding and addressing communication barrier, we can ensure clearer and more effective interactions.
Yeah, so we encourage you to evaluate your communication strategies and work on overcoming these barriers to achieve communication outcomes.
This is Group 11, and this is the end of our presentation on achieving effective communication.
Thank you for watching.